Hi, Olga. How are you?
How nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for being on Coffee with Vera.
Of
And I'm
course.
sorry I didn't get the cup to you on time. Next time we will. And we're doing this little channel on YouTube, Coffee with Vera. interviewing people that I consider inspirational, and you're one of them.
Oh,
You
thank
can
you.
bring some good advice, some good stories, and your own story will inspire other people that how dreams do come true. And you look beautiful. Your
Thank you. Likewise.
magazine is beautiful. Your designs are beautiful. So I wanted to know, what are you doing first of all in this holiday season? Are you doing any work, or are you just celebrating, taking time off?
Doing some blogging, and since it's such a great time that people have for themselves, at times, I've started reading new books, and I've realized that I can meditate and spend time really getting to know myself and slow down a little bit.
Slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Slow down
So
a
that
little bit.
January 4th on, everything gets back to hopefully business. And
Yes, yes. And I
now,
definitely wish for those businesses that are in despair right now just to hang on, and yeah, to feel that it will get better, or if they cannot get back, there will be a possibility or a different door.
yeah, yeah. Can you hear me, or are
Oh
you
yeah.
feeling a little breakup?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I think there was a little pause for some reason. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. So, you came from Russia, right?
St.
And
Petersburg,
you
Russia.
had a dream. Can you
Yeah.
tell us about your story a little bit?
Well, I am a big dreamer, and actually, when I was in high school, my mind was flying all over the classroom when
Yeah.
I would get bored, or math was not exactly my favorite subject, but my mind was always occupied, and I loved history, art, and but I also understand the importance of math and geometry, and later on in life, I started studying it even more on my own.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel that every subject or every topic that we attend in school develops our imagination.
Right.
Imagination equals dreams, right?
Definitely. Yeah. If you don't have dreams, what are you going to accomplish, right? You have to have dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we read a story or we learn about something, our mind automatically creates like a picture of something that is not even real. It's like a surreal kind of dream of form, but believe it or not, those surreal dreams could be affirmation, like
True.
pushing us towards the future.
That's true. So your dream was?
Well, my dream was actually to see the world. I
Mhm.
really wanted to see the world, and I did want to go to United States to go to college to continue my education in America, and do something like extraordinary in life,
Yeah.
just different, just see
Yeah.
everything and possibly
Yeah.
learn about other cultures, not just US but everywhere else.
Okay. So you've traveled a lot?
I have, and just want to tell people out there, you don't need to be very wealthy to travel. It just sometimes the doors just open, and you have opportunities, and you take it. You take every opportunity you get.
Can you
You know,
give an example? Because somebody might be saying, yeah, I haven't found that opportunity. Give an example where you didn't have money, but you traveled anyway.
okay, so there was when I was in high school, right? So we had an exchange program with the students, and of course we didn't have back then we had an iron curtain, so we couldn't even exchange like a correct amount of currency, so we can even like buy ice cream, or buy a gift or something. And I remember we were going to London, and it was a show that it was students from 50 countries of the world got together. And like, of course, we're poor students, our families don't have currency, but we had an exchange because we had English families that hosted the international cast. So
Oh,
basically, we stayed with the family, and we had a performance. And I remember that we even were given like some really amazing people from New Zealand gave us money for ice cream. And I'll never forget this because
so
we didn't
things
have
do
the
happen.
money to buy ice cream. Like, because we were saving our money to buy like some gifts, and we didn't want to spend it on ice cream and cakes and
But you
some,
wanted it, you got it.
yeah. So so we were, it just came. And it's again, it's the proof that, when somebody does some beautiful gesture like that. We were like students, and they were like particular Russian students. We didn't have currency to buy things, so the people from New Zealand, that they saw us like looking at people like other kids buying ice cream,
Right.
and they were like so sympathetic. They just gave us the money to buy it.
That's
So
beautiful. And
yeah, and
that's
I just
good.
remember with them with such warmth in my heart, because now I do the same. I sometimes when I can, I just buy something for like somebody with coffee or lunch. And because the gesture like this in other people develops um a good
And
mental
giving
impact on
forward,
yourself.
you remember somebody was nice to you and you want to pass it forward and you give it to somebody else. Yeah.
You know what I feel, that sometimes we don't necessarily need to expect something coming back from the person that you would help. It
Mm.
would come from someone else. It
Yeah.
just kind of like passing on in a circle.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You remember a good gesture and you give it to somebody else.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're just paying off the debt. Give it
Exactly.
forward because they will give it to someone else. And
Yeah.
that's goodness and goodwill keeps going on, right?
Yeah, and then also talking about like budget, there's so many tour companies, and they have like packages.
Mhm.
So my also encouragement of people, just get a package where you have hotel and everything included. It's still a incredible, like, there's a package, you pay for the hotel, and then
Just be
you,
smart about it, I guess.
yes,
Right?
exactly, it's like economical way, but you can see a lot of
Yeah,
things.
don't stop dreaming. Yeah.
No,
So how
absolutely
did
not.
you pick United States to live and New York on top of that?
Oh well, first I came to Santa Barbara.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you were close
Yes,
to us.
I was near you. Near Los Angeles,
Yes,
and I
yes.
I studied there for a year. I had a scholarship, and then actually I went for one semester to Lake Tahoe in Klein Village,
Okay.
and they have this amazing small private college up in the mountains, and I love the school, and I was able to transfer to that college, and I finished that school already and got degrees from Sierra Nevada College, which is an amazing school.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you go to New York?
And New York, okay, so I happened to move to Chicago, and then Chicago was actually not the choice that I wanted to be in and stayed. So I just went from Chicago to New York. And I actually I had New York in my mind for a very long time. It just, the transition from California to New York was a little bit bumpy, but at the end it worked out.
Tell me the story about your show, the fashion show that you did at Times Square. You told me this is amazing, like how you just don't let your dreams die and you say, this is what's going to happen.
Oh well, actually, it is surreal if you think about it. To live in St. Petersburg, be in that country, never would imagine my wildest dreams to go to America or London. But when you manifest things like that, you think about something more grand in your life, and you feel
Well,
about,
that's brand, right?
grand. You have to feel grand, and you have to feel exactly that. That's exactly the confirmation, because it's to the point where you smell the roses when you want to be in a rose garden.
Right.
You almost feel the smell, right?
Hmm.
So I actually felt like I want to be so happy, and I want to fulfill my dreams in a way where I can make sure that the gifts and possibilities that are given to us by God, and I felt like I want to realize them. I wanted that. I don't want them to be trapped and die.
Right. Right.
And I did few fashion shows before, and then the grand finale was the Times Square.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had a friend that I had an opening of the magazine actually 8 years ago, and I never even thought of being a designer at the time. I was just creating my artwork and doing collages, right? And I also did some fabric, but I didn't think I would go so fast into design. And I had a friend magazine, and then he came to New York, and it came from nowhere. This is how a lot of times happens. You can't even expect it sometimes. When you have an affirmation
Yeah.
and you realize it and you feel it, it just happens
Oh,
like a
yeah, yeah. You got to
snowstorm.
just stay open to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he called me out of the blue and he said, Olga, I have in a week I have a show I'm producing at Times Square, and would you like to be part of it? And I said, oh my goodness, of course, I would be happy to. And
Yeah.
that's how it happened. So
Yeah.
it's actually, it's like by God's gift. A lot of times it's a divine intervention.
Yeah. Right. No, that's what happens.
Yeah,
And
you have to
I
be.
asked you that, wow, that must be so expensive. And you said you were saving to buy a condo. But then you said, okay, which one do I do? A condo, a Times Square fashion show?
Well, to be in the fashion world and in the art business, it's of course you have to invest a lot of your assets in yourself, because you need to show.
You got to
You
invest in
need to
yourself,
take
right?
a gallery. Yes, it's just either you get like a sponsor, or you have like a very wealthy husband, or you have some backup, but it's there's no way to do it absolutely with no money. You have to invest in it somehow. So
Yeah.
even though people have limited resources, they actually know that at times they have to invest for even photographs portfolios.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Totally.
have to.
You
So
can't present
that's
yourself if you don't have your product, right? And
exactly.
you got to invest in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of actors and actresses or models, you see, they work in the restaurant business,
Yeah.
waitressing, is just because they know in order to get a
And they're
better
staying
result.
ready. They're staying ready for the opportunity, right?
Yes, yes, and sometimes people go to auditions and they pay a fee,
Mm-hmm.
and the fee could be not cheap a
Right.
lot of times.
Yeah.
And PR, I couldn't imagine how much money PR agents charge.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You just have to have your dream and know that it's going to happen, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So you hustle and bustle in a way.
Till it's done.
Never give
Don't
up.
give up till it's done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. You
Oh,
did
thank
amazing. I was
you. With
watching.
God's
Yeah.
help, grace.
Yes, yes, yes. So, what I want to ask is, so now, since you've accomplished your dream of being an amazing designer,
Thank
and
you.
you've had the best possible show at Times Square, which was recent, just because before the COVID, right?
Yes, yes.
And so, what would you say your life's purpose is? You have a magazine. What's the
Mhm.
name of your magazine, please?
It's called Pop Impresco, which stands for Popular Impressive Kaleidoscope.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, and
It,
it's a
it, it's
beautiful
actually
magazine.
it's
And
surreal a little bit. Yeah, thank you. It's a little bit futuristic because it contains three words,
mhm,
but if you are going towards the future, you would understand how many things are changing in life.
Yeah. So your purpose would be what? Through magazine, through design, through fashion shows? What would you say your purpose in life is right now? You
Well,
travel
believe
a
it.
lot. Yeah.
Okay, so believe it or not, this whole like show business kind of like media and advertising career, I believe everything that we do in life is focusing towards healing people, each other, and yourself.
Yeah. Supporting each
It's
other.
the purpose. It's the purpose of us being here, because we're learning how to heal and how to forgive.
Yeah.
And doing all of this and meeting a lot of people, I realized that a lot of people are in need of love,
Mm-hmm.
basic love, and in need of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very simple. It's like, I give you a very direct example. For example, if I had a model coming to my show, and she's a mess, and she had a rough night, and there's so much maybe going on inside of her with her family, that she's so distraught emotionally, but she has to do the job, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't realize it until it hits us, right?
Mhm.
So what I realized, a lot of things in the world, wars and disasters, it's happening because in general people are very unsatisfied with themselves.
Yeah, but don't you think a lot of those examples or things come in our life to learn something? Otherwise, we won't learn those stories
Exactly. So I
or the
feel that,
messages that come from those stories, you know?
yes, and we are here on earth is to better ourselves,
Yeah.
and perhaps understand that we are not like, we're not by ourselves, because we're all connected, and everything that we do reflect people around us and reflect nature and everything else around us. Energetical field is reflected, even if we have a train of thought is negative. So the more, like they say, oh, there's disasters and there's tsunamis, there's like a black hole, but that's exactly what happens, because the energetical wave of people is negative, and it all reflects on our nature and everything around us.
Yeah.
So,
So how
so
how are you balancing your professional life and all this other, moral and peacefulness that you want to have around you and teaching and learning? How do you balance all that and continue working?
it's rough. It's actually, I'm not gonna say that everything is in peachy around everything, but
It looks peachy to us, so to explain.
but what helps me, a prayer helps me, a prayer, and kind of like and going to the highest source, because we don't know everything around the world. We don't know even everything about ourselves. But
So
when you go to the highest source, like universe, galaxy, God, whoever you believe in,
yeah,
and but everything that is for the highest good, and you ask for leadership, for guidance,
yeah.
for getting you out of the problem or something like that, or help you to be on the right path.
So do you meditate, pray regularly? What is your morning when you wake up? What is your routine?
I pray, in the morning. I say, I'm gonna say this, and my friend taught me that, and it helps a lot. So she says like a forgiveness and also like meditation prayer, because we're part of God. God created us in His own image, right?
Mhm.
So what they say, what I would encourage people to say when they wake up, just to say, "Thank you, universe. Thank you, God." And what I say in the morning, I say, "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I
Okay.
love you so much. Thank you,
You
thank you,
love
thank
who
you."
so much?
I
You
love
love yourself?
you're talking to yourself. You say,
Okay.
"I'm so sorry." You say, "I'm so sorry for everything that I've done wrong, for everything that I felt bad, and for
Uh-huh.
doubting myself, and for feeling lower than I am, right? I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. You're asking yourself forgiveness.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Okay.
I love you so much.
Yeah. So forgiving yourself.
Forgiving yourself, right?
Okay. And loving yourself, basically.
Loving yourself, and you say
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you is directing to the universe, to everything that you created, having arms, having legs, having life. If you have a disease, you ask God to give you healing, or universe source.
Right.
Maybe there will be a way to get healed.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And you said your friend taught you that prayer?
Yes, actually, my friend taught me that, and actually, that was like a confirmation because I watch a lot of kind of like inspiration videos on YouTube. There's a lot of interesting
Yeah.
like YouTube videos about that subject, which I started learning. And actually, that same information I heard in Russian,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just confirming what I heard from my friend. So
Yeah.
when you say that, you would feel better about yourself, and you feel more compassionate
Yeah.
towards each other, towards
Mhm.
other people, because other people is also, it's your reflection, it's
Yeah.
also them that you see, it's your reflection in them.
Right, right. So, I mean, that's why we're doing this show. So somebody else will watch your story, be inspired and not give up on their dreams and continue doing, because there is a way, to
There's a
get
way.
things
Oh,
done.
there's a way.
And you always have the higher power. You call it God, you call it universe. I mean, I see a lot of candles in your bag. So you have the spirituality going on. So that helps you stay grounded, right?
Well, of course, but we are living in such an enlightenment age. How can you not to believe in such higher power? It's like when somebody says, "Oh, I'm an atheist," right?
Yeah.
But logically, if he give it a little bit of a thought, he is healthy, right? He
Hmm.
can talk, he can see, but God sometimes takes away the gifts. So then people, they have to go through a difficult transformation in order to realize this is not given to them because it's them, it's given to them by the higher source, by the creator. We are all created,
Yeah.
we are all creation of the higher source, and we're here, we're born. Even when you person is born, it's the creation. Your mother and your father, they were so blessed, and they were creating you when you were born.
Yeah, that's true. So, who would you, other than God,
Yeah.
consider your role models, your heroes that brought you or gave you strength or gave you intelligence and, how to keep going? I know it's some stuff you're born with, but some you also learn from your environment, right?
Of course, and like I had the most amazing teachers along my journey in at the college, and I also have friends that I've learned lessons, and I've seen maybe my reflection in them, and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm doing this wrong.
Hmm.
The way they treated me, it was like a lesson to me to change,
Hmm.
and it helped me to change and considering things differently, and learn to adapt to certain things. But
Yeah,
it didn't change my soul per se. It changed
right,
my observation and reflection.
right. The
And
core,
of course my
core is what
mother.
you are, right?
Oh yes, and
Yeah.
of course my mother, and people like you and Jose, that you meet in life by accident,
Yeah.
and like I've learned from you, your amazing book that you wrote,
Well,
and
thank
and
you.
and can you say the name right now?
Is domestic abuse is unreported crime. I say it
Yeah,
unreported because that's why the crime keeps going. And I think unless you call it what it is, you don't do anything about it. And that's why I want to put it out there.
exactly. And actually, a lot of us went through that, and I'm not denying that I had a situation like that in my life. It
Yeah.
happened to me, it did.
Yeah.
So I've learned to move forward,
Yeah,
and
you don't
I've learned
stay a victim, I feel. You learn
yeah,
from it. Everything comes for a purpose, right? We came here for a
exactly,
purpose. You learn
exactly.
from it, graduate, and move on to the next bigger, better things.
But you know what I've learned through that tough experience? It was very tough. It was
Yeah.
very painful. But what I've learned is not to give up on yourself,
Yeah.
and take like, you know, when you're on a horse, you take the horse by its hair, and you go forward,
Yep. Yep.
and you go as far as you can with your dreams, and you
Yep.
continue,
Yep.
and you
Don't
continue.
give up on yourself. That's a really good.
You
But
know, like I
yeah.
was actually the other day, and actually that kind of destroyed my mental mind, because I was watching a film. It was the Countess of de Montsoreau.
Mm,
So that's a novel by a French writer, but it was a television series, right?
mm,
And it was from 1980. And then, you know, sometimes they write what happened to those actors, right?
mhm,
So the main actress, which was playing Diana, you know, this gorgeous goddess woman, that was the object of love and admiration, in real life, her life was really, really distraught and really, really tragic, because after the role that she received as the Countess of de Montsoreau, you know, the main part in the French series, right? So she was famous, beautiful, really beautiful. And then I was reading that she was not able to receive any other parts in she started to work at the airport.
mm.
And then at the age of and I think it was 37 or something like that, she was brutally raped, and she killed herself.
Oh my God.
That
That's
was a huge distraction to me.
yeah.
And 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 I understand how terrifying that was.
Yeah.
And for women, this kind of violation on her body and her mental stage, it's tragic. It's the most tragic thing
Yeah.
that could happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things right now in the world happening with the child trafficking and human trafficking, and of course we cannot be ignored. We cannot ignore these subjects,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody should pay attention to it, and
Yeah.
perhaps help each other in a way where when a person is struggling and he doesn't want to reveal his inside demons or his inside sorrows,
See,
and
that's
you know.
why I am doing the things that I'm doing about dispute resolution, because if we learn to respect each other, people say, I love you, and then they expect obedience. That's not the love. You
No.
want to care about each other, show respect for who the other person is. And then you wouldn't have all those kind of crimes. And if you did respect the other person, especially women,
Exactly.
especially women, they're not objects, and
No, Abby.
children.
And men,
Yeah.
they become violent because they either were abused when they were little,
And then
or
they think physically they can, you know.
exactly. So they want to compensate their anger.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I don't want to just completely leave it at that, because some men also are abused. Whoever lets their guard down
Yes.
and allows the other person. So that's what I feel, that there is a role that we play, or whoever is a victim plays, in the abuse or in the violence, because you're letting it happen,
Yes.
somehow
Exactly.
accepting it and letting it happen. You have to continue the fight, and continue talking about it and helping others, help yourself, stay positive, and hopefully more and more people will start thinking like that.
That's true, because you know what? At the end of the day, the abuser will get the punishment. Very brutal for what he's done, no matter what, or
Yeah,
she's done. So the abuser, they always have to remember that they will be punished. It could happen from a different source,
yeah,
but they
just
have to
like giving,
understand
you
that
were saying, can be coming from a different source,
it
receiving
always
double.
comes back.
Same with the punishments, probably. Yeah,
Always.
yeah, yeah,
It might not happen, you know, maybe right away,
yeah,
but it will happen.
yeah,
It's like, you know, you don't even have to go very far. You know, The Godfather, right? The film The Godfather. The
Yeah.
ending,
Everybody
it
knows that.
just, the ending was like brutal, right?
Yeah.
His most favorite daughter, you know, the apple of his eye that he loved. But you know, it's real, real stories. It happens because, you know, they've done so much in their life to build, or what was the purpose of that violence or crime, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so you have to remember, you will get punished if you do something wrong or bad, or something that is against human.
Yeah, even animals,
Of
people
course.
are horrible to animals. When I look at my two little puppies, I'm like, we just got our second one about a
Oh,
month ago, and just 2 weeks
oh,
before that, she was found on the streets.
oh
And
my
then
goodness.
just couple nights ago, we had a really bad thunderstorm, and she was so scared. And I was just looking at her like, you're in my bed, in the house, safe, and you're so scared. Imagine just a month ago, she was on the street, how scared the little 10-month-old puppy would be,
Yeah,
and I don't know how anyone can be abusive to young children, little animals. It's just sad. And I dream, I hope, people think more positive and caring. So, thinking of that, what are your dreams in life, career wise, socially, your life?
my life. Well, you know, believe it or not, if we talk profession wise, I don't know how it's gonna happen, right? But I'm putting it out there.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes they say, oh, don't say anything about your dreams because it might not come true. But you know, this is an affirmation that I want it to happen one day. I always wanted to open a hospital healing center,
Okay.
but a real hospital that that has doctors that follow the Hippocratic law, the
Oh,
Hippocratic oath that they give when they receive their doctor's degree, right?
yeah.
Not because they treat their profession as business, but
Uh-huh.
they're in their profession because they are true to their profession, and they want to help people with all their heart, and
Yeah.
they don't run home because they have to be somewhere on a date, or they have to go to a party to
Yeah.
spend their big money. No, my ideal manifestational goal would be to have a hospital where doctors are compassionate and have true identity as doctors, and also have uh, art healing center. Recently in the hospital, and she went through a roller coaster with doctors and everything else, but there were amazing doctors there and there were bad ones.
Yeah.
But when I met this amazing doctors, it saved her life. And you know what was really interesting, she stayed at the rehab center,
Mhm.
and she was asking for like a library books. They brought her like some books, but there were like such little choice.
Yeah.
So what I believe is, when you are recovering or you're a patient in a hospital, in that healing center, have a great movie collection, and also have like an art gallery,
Yeah.
which gives you a complete distraction
Yeah.
from your sickness, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that's healing. Everything that's healing.
Everything that's healing. And you know what, people say, oh, I'm healthy, this and that, and I go to the gym. No, what I've realized right now is our whole world needs a lot of healing,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of destruction going on, and a lot of people are treating medicine as a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times doctors, they prescribe medicine because they get paid for prescription,
Yeah.
and they get paid for recommending some doctor even though the doctor is not the best.
Yeah.
So and I also is a very big advocate of bringing your immune system up, because your immune system is a God's gift, and God makes no mistakes.
Hmm.
And of course, if He created you to be in this world, He created your immune system. So instead of putting so much junk in your body with a lot of artificial products and
Hmm.
a lot of artificial things, it's better to see how can you bring up your immune system, what can you do to radiant your state of mind, to be more happy, to bring more endorphins in your life.
Yeah.
How can you go about it?
Just like anything else, invite good things in your life.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, and reject everything else.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But to be able to know the difference between what's good to take in your body and what's not, and of course to have the right to have the choice,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have the choice, you have the choice as a human.
Mm,
We are given a free choice by the divine universe, by God. So no one has the right to take away our free choice and what we do with our body.
do you
No, not
believe?
a single person out there.
Yeah. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
And what does that mean to you, miracle? Why? Why do you
And
believe in that?
a miracle, it's something that happens to us when we don't expect it, right? And we when you feel like, oh, I don't know, I don't have any hope for this kind of situation, but then you pray or meditate or you focus on the positive vibrational
Mm,
level of your thought, and
mm,
then boom, it happens, and you're like, oh my goodness, how did it happen, right? It's
yeah.
like, my grandfather was in World War II, right?
Mm,
And he was telling us this story, which is incredible. He said we were on a minefield,
mm,
and there were Germans attacking us from the sky, but on the planes, and they were shooting us from the top. And
mm,
he said there were a lot of people on the field, and they just laid down on the ground, like on dirt, right?
yeah.
And then when the attack was over, there were probably 15% of all the people that were laying stood up.
Yeah. Mm,
And he said it was a miracle. He
yeah.
said I was alive, and he said it was a miracle that happened to me. I didn't think that I would survive that.
Yeah.
So it's one of the examples, but there's so many. It's like my mom, she had a surgery, and the doctor, it's again what we're talking about, the doctor it was a medical negligence, because the doctor treated my mother as a money object, as a financial, you know income kind of thing, and she was treated very poorly at the hospital.
Was it here or in Russia?
It was here. It was mainly Modis Hospital that she was at, and she was treated very poorly after her surgery. But
Mm,
then she has an amazing doctor, her general doctor, that forwarded her to the Coney Island Hospital, where he overlooks things too.
mm,
And there were amazing medical surgeon from Venezuela
mm,
that did a surgery on my mother, and that was a miracle. That was a miracle that her uh, her primary doctor and that surgeon and the whole team at the Coney Island Hospital, they literally saved her. She had sepsis. And
wow.
sepsis is like the final stage. You
Yeah.
throw up. She was throwing up like every
Your
half an hour.
organs, your organs start kind of shutting down, supposedly, right?
They start to numb, and you lose all your immune system,
Mm,
and everything, like her red cells were low, her
mm,
potassium and calcium was gone.
mm,
So but and also I talked to some nutrition doctors that I have a friend, and she works at their office. So basically, there were some doctors out there that were miracle doctors, and it was a miracle. And I prayed literally 3 nights in a row, day and night,
yeah.
and a miracle happened. She survived.
Yeah. So that's
And
another story
yeah.
of not giving up,
No, and
having
like we,
faith.
we call it a bonus. Like, me and my mother, we call it a bonus, because this year a lot of people died, right?
Yeah.
So I call it a bonus that, God's, and thank you, God, for her
Yeah.
survival, and be able to give me that
Yeah.
gift and give this gift to her. So I call this the biggest miracle that I witnessed.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you've had
So that
amazing, amazing life, career wise and travel wise, and a lot of miracles happen in your life.
Yeah, and I
So,
encourage people, have faith and believe in those miracles, because it could happen to anybody who just asks. You just have to ask. If you don't
That's
ask,
right.
it's not going to
Yeah.
happen to
Yeah.
you.
Even the Bible says, right? Ask and you shall
Yes,
receive.
exactly. Ask and you shall
We've known
receive.
that forever, and why don't we believe in that, right?
Exactly. And of course, have like a positive
Yeah.
manifestational thought of,
Right, right. That's asking. Yeah.
yeah. And even
Asking
though,
with
like,
all your heart and being pure about it, right?
with
Believe,
all your heart, you
believing
know,
it.
because, like, I encourage those abused women, because I know, like, when a woman is in abuse situation, she feels so trapped she cannot get out, right?
Yeah.
So I encourage them, if they ever see this interview, just to ask God, a universe, to help them to get out of this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Don't
ask
give
for a
up. Yeah.
miracle.
You
You
can't
know,
accept it. You cannot accept it. You
no, you
to
cannot accept it.
have to stop abuse. You have to stop being hurt because you
Yeah.
deserve better. Everybody, each one of us deserves. We didn't come in this world to be abused by anybody.
No,
Right? We came to
no.
have fun and laugh and be happy and have our dreams come true, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, even with your book, that's why your book is so important, because for somebody to see your book would be also a miracle,
Yeah.
because they'll,
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. And I mean, I get amazing letters and emails back, but I want to get this book to everyone. I'm just trying to figure out what's the right way. I'm even trying to put it on, Facebook or online, and hopefully
everywhere.
something will happen. Yeah. But what makes you most happy and what makes you most sad?
I love the ocean, like the marine world. The animals make me happy. My
Yeah.
mother makes me happy.
Yeah.
People that have positive thoughts towards me,
Yeah. Yeah.
action, to see people in love makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I was watching couples, and they're like so adore each other, even like your son. My god, when I see people in love, that makes me happy. That makes
I
me
know.
feel to believe love is out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible.
I,
That's exactly.
I mean, that's what we came in this world for, to be happy, to be loved, and
Yeah,
to love, right? Everything else is just noise.
yeah.
And just stay positive. It's like to focus on the good things, right? So, what
Oh,
makes you sad? What makes you sad?
sad when people talk bad behind each other.
Yeah.
That's
Such a
terrible.
waste of time, right? Such
Waste
a
of
waste of
time.
time. If you're
And
going to,
most of the time, that I encourage people, do not believe what people say about somebody else. Just prove it for yourself.
and that's their perspective anyway, and that's a
Exactly.
one-sided story.
Subjective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Very subjective.
yeah.
Because you know what? They will never be in these people's shoes.
Right, right.
Never will be in these people's shoes.
Make
And
your
they will
own
have to.
opinions and own, yeah, have
No,
your,
because it's like this. You have a fashion show. I have a fashion show. Everything what's going on behind the scenes, oh my goodness,
yeah.
it's like, Lord, help me to get through the day, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, it's like, my mom used to take me to ballet theater when she worked there. So I always saw the beautiful performance, and then I went backstage,
Mhm.
and then when I saw what kind of feet the ballerinas have, and
Oh,
how
wow.
difficult it is for them.
And they
And
keep dancing anyway, huh?
yeah, and my mom calls it, she calls it, kind of like the state of a prison in flowers, because it's like, when, how I'm trying to explain it in from Russian. How do you translate it? So it's basically, it's hardship in flowers,
Yeah.
because the performers are working so hard during their whole life just to have that beautiful performance, but
Yeah.
the physical strength and
The
the
feet
pain
are
they go
slipping
through
back.
is
Oh, wow.
excruciating. And
I
of course, what's
know.
going on
A lot of
behind the
times,
scenes
yeah, we don't
in
even think
politics.
about it, right? We just see the
Oh,
dance and the ballet and all
yeah.
that, and we don't think about their feet, what they're going through.
No, because you know what? Like, my one of our favorite, like, ballet dancers, and now he's a premier, and now he retired, and he's teaching choreography
Mm-hmm.
at the Vaganov School, is Nicholas Tsiskaridze.
Wow.
So his interviews are the most inspiring and interesting and knowledgeable. So
Yeah.
I always watch him.
Yeah.
So he tells about like what's going on behind the scenes and the most excruciating and the most politically distraught circumstances
Yeah. Yeah.
and situations you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They
know
put
people are sometimes so um, critical or jealous, maybe critical because of jealousy or whatever. People who are successful, not everybody's rooting for them, and they're just thinking they went there, but you don't think of all the steps and all the hard work that they went through to get there, you know.
it's jealousy. You know what I want to tell you about the jealousy. Jealousy, it's like a worm. It eats you inside out.
Yeah.
So those people that are jealous, and they're not focusing on their own career, they're
Yeah.
looking at what other people have. It destroys them. That
Just
feeling of
hurting
jealousy
yourself. Yeah.
destroys them.
Yeah. You're just hurting yourself
You're
doing.
hurting yourself basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. So, in let's say in conclusion, in the end, what would you have some words for people who are listening, young people especially, who have dreams and they think they don't have the support or they don't have the finance or whatever, they think it's not possible. What would you tell them?
Well, I'm going to say it in a little bit more metaphorical way.
Uh,
Uh, I would just want to tell them you are never, ever alone.
yeah.
Never alone. Even though you feel like you're alone by yourself,
Hmm.
there are a lot of, like, I would say, angels, spirits,
Hmm.
your ancestry line, your ancestors that you are the last generation of them. They
Hmm.
all are for you,
Yeah.
even though maybe they did maybe wrong, maybe even they abused. I can tell you, when they go to a different level of being, they change, and they 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 try to go through lessons, and they want you, the last ancestor of their line, to do the right thing. They don't want you to do the same thing they've done wrong.
So they're
So
saying or
so
looking
you are
after
their
you, you think?
hope. The way you're gonna lead your life, you are their last hope for them to feel
Mhm.
better,
Wow.
and
Okay.
for the whole line of your lineage to become in a more better being or in a better sphere. We cannot talk about, we're in the age of Aquarius, right? And we are in such an enlightenment process right now. So uh, even though sometimes maybe your lineage is not that great, and or you got adopted if you never knew your parents, I
Yeah.
just want you to know that there are good spirits around you. There's God who sends you his angels,
Yeah.
his guidance. And if you are here on this earth, it just because he wants you to learn a lesson,
Yeah.
and he wants you to do well.
Yeah.
He really wants you to do well, and a lot of times he gives you so many situation where he helps you out. He
Yeah.
almost, I love this preacher when they say, God, where are you? I don't see your footsteps. He says, that's because I carried you.
It was his
It was the
footsteps.
one set of footsteps. I love that because,
Yeah.
and this is probably the best ending. Know that there are always footsteps next to you, or when you don't have footsteps, God is carrying you
Yeah.
through your troubles.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you so much. This is beautiful and inspirational, and I hope people who listen and hear you will be inspired and not give up their dreams.
Thank you so much, Veera. God bless you.
Yeah.
And
God bless.
God bless America and the whole world.
Yes, yes, and Russia too, right? That's part of the
Russia,
world.
of
We don't
course,
want to forget Russia.
the whole
That's your
world and
hometown.
Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our families, and this is a new year, and I want to wish everybody lots of blessing and love, and may this year will be a very good year for everybody, and God bless everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
2021 is coming with all the blessings.
All the blessings. God is willing. God is in charge.
God willing. Yes. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Have a
Bye.
good Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye.